Greetings, good people of the vinyl community. John from Wax and Relax, the Vinyl Listening Room. Today we're going to do something super special for my friend Daryl, way the hell up north in Canada. He goes by the name Northern Vinyl Guy, and he's celebrating 1 year in the vinyl community. And he's doing a contest of some sort. I'm never really sure what the prizes or any of that type of stuff is. I just like showing the records and talking about it and supporting people who have channels that I like. So I've been enjoying Daryl's channel for the last couple of months. I always comment, and he's good to watch. He knows what he's talking about. He knows what he likes. And it's just kind of interesting because he's so remote. And it's kind of nice to hear some of the stories of how hard he has to work to get those records way up there. So I figured I would do my participation to his contest, and I'm going to make this as Canadian as I possibly can. So, hence, I've got my hockey jersey. Well, one of them anyway. Winnipeg Jets. This is Teemu Selanne. You don't see a lot of that shit in the VC, do you? All right, so he has a couple of questions here. He's got 9 questions, which is a good round number, 9. So we're going to tackle them and see how we go. Number 1, share a song lyric that has a unique, unusual, or strange word in it. One of my favorite, most influential records as a musician and as an aggressive music fan. Punk crossover metal Rasta band from Washington, D.C., Bad Brains, Eye Against Eye. In the song Let Me Help, off Eye Against Eye, there are 3 words that are pretty interesting. Now, Bad Brains are a couple of 4 Rastas from Washington, D.C. Started out as a jazz band, believe it or not. They discovered hardcore punk and got way into that. Then they discovered Rasta at a Bob Marley concert in Washington, D.C. And they started to smoke a little of the hippie lettuce. They learned a lot about Rasta culture, and then the Rasta movement. They became Rastas, started to grow out the dreads, and reggae became part of their language. By their 3rd record, which is this one, you start hearing a lot of the metal influence. From here, you'll hear the next record's going to have some funk and some other things going on it. But this is their kind of punk meets metal meets jazz reggae outing. Great record. But in the song Let Me Help, there's 3 words. The very first word of the song is egonomics. Egonomics is based on the idea that people have multiple selves within their minds, which can lead to conflict. The guy that invented the word, Thomas Schelling, hypothesizes that the theory that people can overcome this conflict by using self-management techniques. Bad Brains are very into PMA, the positive mental attitude. They're very into the idea of your physical self, your spiritual self, and the idea of unity. That's a lot of that Rasta culture coming into their kind of lexicon of what they do. Another word that they use in this song, edification. That's the instruction or improvement of a person morally or intellectually. So, yeah, aggressive music, but it's not dumb. It is very self-aware and looking for improvement. And then, interestingly, they use the word eternally. In the Rasta language, which is called Lyriac, it's kind of a patois of Jamaican culture and these ideas of self-improvement and unity. They use the word the word I to replace other syllables, and it represents unity. So in this case, it'd be like we live eternally. So thought that was very cool. By the way, my band covers that song, so I have to sing those lyrics just about every show we play. So thought you might find that a little bit interesting. Number 2, show a vinyl record pressing from your collection that is not from the country you live in. I have a couple of them. I was actually just listening to one a little bit ago, Preston, Ireland, which I thought was pretty cool. Didn't realize I had any records printed in Preston, Ireland. Curtis Mayfield and the Impressions. This is it's a greatest hits collection of some sort. But you'll see very clearly here that it is right there. Made in Jamaica by Dynamic Sounds Recording Company Limited. It's interesting how they do it down in Jamaica. They have these small independent record plants that they just press. They make photocopies of stuff. So you've got, this MCA label that, it's out of center. The colors are rough and grainy and all that type of thing. It's got like superimposed under it that it's been licensed for Dynamic Sounds on Bell Road in Kingston, Jamaica. The vinyl's really thick. It's like 180G before vinyl became hip again. So it was just kind of weird and heavy back in the 60s and 70s, whereas now that vinyl is what's desirable. But yeah, cool stuff. Jamaica. Thought that might be a good response to that. Number 3, a U.S. state that borders the one you live in that has had some sort of ties to Canada. I want to say it was easy, but it wasn't. I'm in Florida. We have 2 states that border us, Alabama, and there's nothing that I can think of between Alabama and Canada, and Georgia. And the only thing that I can think about that matches between Georgia and Canada are the B-52s. Because in 1980, when Rock Lobster was released in 79, but in 80, it went to number 1 in Canada. And that year they played the Heat Wave Festival, which is called the New Wave Woodstock. So I thought that was as close to a Canadian tie that I could get to Georgia. But then again, I live in Dunedin, Florida, which is the spring training home to the Toronto Blue Jays. So in a lot of ways, between the people that visit here for 5 months out of the year, the baseball team that's here, the Toronto Blue Jays spring training, a lot of those guys live here during the year, and then they go off up by you guys for the regular season. So we're kind of like the Toronto Junior, if you will. So I figure if Toronto is in Ontario, then next door to it is going to be Quebec, and well, who's from Quebec? Voivod. Hell yeah. Went from an absolutely unlistenable prehistoric thrash band to a pretty awesome progressive metal band, between the early 80s and late 80s. And, by now have a well-traveled and well-documented rise to, from zero to hero. I love Voivod. Obviously, I'm wearing the shirt. In the 80s, late 80s especially, these guys were really important to us. Definitely check it out if you get a chance. They're kind of like the metal version of Pink Floyd. In fact, they cover 2 Pink Floyd songs, I think. Next up. Is it Canadian enough for you? Next up. Show a music item or paraphernalia from your collection. So not an album, not another, format, CD, cassette, or whatever, but something cool from your collection. If you've seen some of my other videos, I'm a huge Stones fan, and I think that this item, and it's going to be framed, I think this item is really, really cool. This was given to me at a record store where I used to work back in the early 90s, and I've had it ever since. This is a sheet of the labels from the Rolling Stones' Some Girls. Obviously ones that weren't cut out and put on the records. But, holy crap, how cool is that? Side 1 and side 2 of Some Girls. So that, I think, is a pretty cool addition to my collection. Number 5. Oh, we're going back to Canada on this one. Show an 80s album. it going to be Rush? Is it going to be Triumph? Is it going to be Glass Tiger? No. But recorded at Le Studio in Morin Heights, April Wine, Nature of the Beast. Great freaking record. I just listened to this setting up for this. And look, oh, Canada, and there's some more hockey. Miles Goodwin wearing a Habs jersey. Yeah, Jerry Mercer, the like original cool bald guy. Back then, in the days of hair, he was an outlier. Now he's like poster boy for everyone now. So great freaking record. This reminds me of all the great things that happened in the early 80s. Roller skating and puberty and all the other good stuff. All right. Number 6. Discuss a struggle/challenge of collecting music or collecting vinyl. As far as being a vinyl collector and a member of the VC, so to speak, yeah, there's some stuff that really sucks about it. I'm a Stones fan. I love this record. Beggar's Banquet. This was, yeah, the American version of Beggar's Banquet. I'm happy with that. Until you reissue it with the original UK cover. And now I got to go buy it again. So that's what's wrong with what's happening in the VC in vinyl collecting now, is trying to keep up. You know, there's reissues, there's upgrades, there's expanded editions. And so, you know, you buy this one. So you got to get rid of this one. Or, you know, if you try to get rid of this one, let's say you spent $25 for this. You go to trade it in, you're going to get $4 in store credit to buy this. So this goes from $30 to, you know, $26. So yeah, the diminishing returns kind of sucks. I don't have enough product that I'd want to sell to become like a Discogs seller. So there's no way for me to really recoup the investment. So I either have to collect 2 copies of it and just sit on it and, you know, and eat it, or, you know, trade this in and let someone else buy it for, I don't know, $25, $30, and I get, you know, $4 back on it. So that's part of the thing, you know, just trying to keep up with all the stuff. You know, your favorite band puts out a you know, record store day thing of, you know, stripped down demos. Do you have to have it? Is it worth $30? Are you ever going to listen to it again? Are you a completist that you just have to have it and that's what it is? That's the problem, because we're music nerds and it's eating us alive. So there. Name a grail or sought out album that you would like to get in 2025. It's weird. There's a bunch of like niche things that I would really love to get. Like I'm an 80s metal guy. So there's a lot of stuff like on Combat Records that I would love to get. Or Noise Records, or, you know, some of those labels that put out like all that prime thrash stuff. Like I'd love to get my hands on Fool's Game by Mordred. But finding a copy of it these days is kind of rare. You know, I'd love to find one out in the wild. If I have to, I'll see if I can get one, you know, from mail order or something like that. I hate to have to pay $1 million for it, but, you know, would I love it for $25? Hell yeah, I'll love it for $25. Do I love it for $100? No, I don't. I'll wait. I also have been looking for, I love Vince Guaraldi as a jazz guy. I love piano trios, and Vince Guaraldi, I mean, all you have to do is hear him play 4 bars and it's Charlie Brown, no matter what he plays. And he's got a record called The Latin Side of Vince Guaraldi. I'd love to find that. So if you have it and you want to get rid of it, send it my way. Show an album that people would be surprised to know you own. I got 5 of them. Menudo. What do you think this is? Menudo. Menudo. And finally, Menudo. I married a Puerto Rican girl. I inherited her record collection. She doesn't listen to him, and I'm sure as hell not going to listen to him. But I'm not going to throw them away, and they're probably not worth anything. But I do own them, and they're in the M section of my Latin thing. So, yeah, I own 5 Menudo records. Who'da thunk? Number 9, shout out to a favorite non-VC related YouTube channel that you like. All right. It is actually a vinyl channel, but it has nothing to do with what we do. You know, you and your vinyl channel and me and my vinyl channel. This is actually, it's a DJ. Her name's Z-Bear. The name of the channel is Villa Vibes Vinyl. Vibes as in Vybes. She is a vinyl DJ out of Hawaii. And every video, it's usually about an hour long, and she just does vinyl mixes of a specific thing. It might be yacht rock. It might be 80s radio hits. It might be, you know, reggae. She just does full sets of a specific genre. She's got great taste in music. She got a very colorful video. She's in a really colorful room with different tile and stuff like that. She broadcast from Hawaii. So the video looks really cool. She's a cute girl. She's married, has a kid, and sometimes the kid is up there mixing a little bit. Once in a while, you'll see her husband mixing. But the funny thing is I'm in a punk rock band, a 55 plus punk rock band, and we rehearse in my house. And so on Sunday mornings, when the guys come over, I usually have something from her playing over the system and her on the big screen as everyone's loading in. And we listen to her spin while we're getting set up. So it's like, she'll be playing for an hour of so let's say reggae or yacht rock, as we're getting our lubrication before we play. Getting set up, getting tuned up, and putting the cymbals on and all that type of stuff, and all of us just kind of goofing around, singing along to yacht rock hits or disco or whatever like that. Great fun. If you ever need something in the background and you don't want to just play music, you want to have some sort of visual, look up Vinyl Vibes, Vinyl with Z-Bear. Very, very cool stuff. So again, congratulations to Daryl, 1 year on the VC. Looking forward to many more. Looking forward to a lot more videos. I love the very Canadian aspect of your videos, and I look forward to a lot of back and forth in the comments on both of our channels for a long time to come. Congratulations. We will see you on the B side.